What's going on, guys? Mike Madigan, Vino Lit here for One Stop Wine Blog Shop, and I'm chilling with my buddy Ed Thralls, creator and owner of Wine Tonight, also the social media manager for Vintage Wine Estates. So you and I were just talking about 2012 as a vintage and this harvest, and do you think that the yield and the quality will rival 2007?
Well, I've been hearing from several other growers out there, as well as some winemakers. They've thrown that term around that this is looking like a 2007. You know, I've only been in the winemaking biz for a couple of years now, so I can't quite relate exactly to that vintage. But as far as like the yield quality ratio, I think it's going to depend on site. You know, as a lot of things can. I think certainly the yield looks like in a lot of vineyards you see along the highway, it's going to be higher than last year, but depending on the site, they could go up and maybe into a sweet spot for them. It doesn't necessarily mean if the yield's up, that quality is going to be down. So it's going to be hard to say, but it's looking pretty good so far.
Okay, so why don't you take us to these Kinnybrook Chardonnay clusters here at the Cundy Estate. So why don't you walk over there and why don't you tell us what we're seeing here?
Yeah, so with the Chardonnay grape, which is a white grape, it's not as easy to tell Veraison. You know, red grapes, Veraison, you'll start seeing some pink and red berries and all this good stuff.
Right.
But, you know, like you so poignantly pointed out, that you can start feeling these getting a little squishier. As they get
getting
more water,
softer,
in there. You can see the clusters are closed up, or closing up as well. And you can see there's quite a lot of fruit here, and it's a good-looking cluster.
Yeah, definitely a lot of yield. And if you notice also, like you mentioned the, where am I? Oh, there am I. Okay, so like the texture, I mean, definitely the grapes are starting to soften up, but color-wise, they're starting to develop a little bit of goldness or kind of a, you know, a lighter green, slightly like a yellowish twinge to them.
You're not getting that hard, dark green, like a hard pea anymore,
exactly.
Right? Very good. A lot more of the kind of gold. If you get really close, kind of a chartreuse, golding, browning little color.
Yeah, and also another thing about Veraison, the yeast is more visible too. So again, you guys, the yeast, native yeast, is like that film that's on the outside.
Powdery, right.
Yeah. So cool. Well, Ed, thank you so much for joining us. Anything you want to pitch really quick before we cut out here about Cundy Vintage Wine Estates? I'm really excited about what you got. Give us a pitch.
Obviously, you're doing a great job here at Cundy Family Estate. It's a great property that we work with. But certainly, I've just announced a slow launch for Thralls Family Cellars.
Yeah.
We've got our 2011 Sonoma Coast Pinot and Barrel, and we'll be doing about 300 cases from Sonoma Coast, Russian River Valley, and Anderson Valley Pinot Noir this year.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much for joining us, Ed, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, cheers.
Peace.